Well, welcome back everybody for another edition of SNG Studio Experience. Actually, it's SNG Experience. We got a busy week this week. We got makeup effects to do, and we got to get this other enterprise built for the Museum of Science Fiction. So let's get it going. It's going to be a great week. Well, welcome back. Happy New Year. This is the first week of the year 2016. Yes, and I remember being at the theater, seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey when it first came out, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, how old am I going to be when this all happens? And my God, I'll be Hayward Floyd's age, and that was 2001. And I remember the build-up towards that. I think, God, I'm going to be an old guy then. But hell, he's in space, so maybe I will be too. Well, there's always hope still. But here it is, 2016. We are so far past 2001. It just boggles my mind sometimes. But I'm very glad to be here, in good health and happy and having lots of fun still. And I don't plan to give up, ever. So, we're going to go back to work on this, because we have a Nautilus to finish up, and really, to get our movie started. Until I get this done, I really can't focus on anything else. Plus, the museum's going to need it very soon. And plus, it was my big idea to have a signing, and that is to get hopefully Shatner and Takei and Koenig and Nichelle, Doug Drexler, possibly Mike Okuda. Mike, if you're paying attention, I wouldn't have got this built wasn't for your help, and something went off. So we want to get everyone who worked on Star Trek, and especially anyone who's still with us that worked on the original Star Trek, up here to sign this. So and have a big signing for this before it goes off to the museum in Washington. So let's get started on it. We need to open up the hood here, get underneath, and since we got the engineering section done, and start putting in little people in the rooms, finalizing the bubble on top, maybe a few people in there, gluing this down, gluing this part on, stuff, and then closing the entire saucer section, which will be the end of all the construction on this model. Okay, so we got impulse engines, yay, and they're lit up really nice. So yeah, we're gonna move on to some more lighting on the saucer section, which I overlooked, and then we'll be able to start putting people in and cleaning this up and closing it up. So Giselle, what'd you do?
Airbrush these aliens' hands.
Yeah, they look pretty darn good. And what's on the fingernails?
What was the name of it?
5-minute epoxy. To give the nails a little bit of shine and gleam. But she did a great job on these hands. These are the first hands that she's ever seamed and patched and run out of foam rubber. And it probably won't be the last either, but they came out really, really nice. And these will go on our alien puppet. Thank you,
Thanks,
Giselle. Yeah, gotta hand it to you. So we are back. It's Tuesday, and boy, we had a lot of rain last night, but it's great. We needed it big time, and we're gonna get a lot more, but it's been coming down nice and easy, so no tyrannical rain. So we're back on this, and what we're doing today is, since everything's inside, is we're gonna go around and we're gonna close this just in this much area here, and then I'm gonna make a little edge tool that goes over this so I can make sure I'm the same height all the way around, because it seems to dip here, which means that this is a little lower. So if it has to stay up a bit higher here and a bit lower there, as long as it's level all the way around, it doesn't matter because I can fill it in. So that's basically what we're gonna do. Also, I want to take time to thank Bruce Barlow for sending me this really cool kit from the 60s of an Aston Martin. And you know, I don't really recognize this particular style of Aston, but it is 1/32nd, which means that this is going to make a great slot car, and it's a vintage kit, and it's interesting how it's put together, you know, in the two parts like this. I'm not used to seeing this. Evidently, someone started to put it together a long time ago, but it's a nice body. I'm gonna have to open up these for the lights, of course, but it's I'm not sure what version of the Aston Martin this is, but it is a neat car. Thank you, Bruce, so much for sending me this vintage kit. I really appreciate it. And I want to take this time to thank Kevin Neese for sending me these 2 copies of his book, Spocktology, Essays with Spock, and Leonard Nimoy from the Undiscovered Country Project and friends. Thank you so much. He did a little write-up in here about me and my work with Leonard Nimoy, and I'm not sure where you can find this book, but Kevin Neill is on Facebook, and you can write to him and ask him about that. It may be that it's available on Amazon. I'm really sorry, Kevin. I think maybe you told me about this, but I can't remember clearly. So if you have an interest in it, let me know, and I'll send you to Kevin. Kevin, thanks so much for sending me this book, and thank you so much for including me in this story. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I got this taped down because I want this part here to be the tool. Okay, right in this area here. I got to remember to look through the monitor here. And I'm going to put some Bondo on this, believe it or not, just some Bondo around it, and make this edge tool that's going to go from about here to just under here. There should be no undercut there, so it should come right off. And I'll have this nice long section that I can put over at any point here, and if it's like if there's a lot of gap there, then I just lift this up till it fills it right. No matter what, the distance between here and here will be consistent all the way around. Okay, so here we have our little tool, and we should be able to just, well, you know, I'm just going to tape it from here and remove it this way, and then edge clean this up a bit. It's a little warm still, but I think it'll be fine. And that was, and I've got to find it, the cover that goes over that. That was dumb, but anyway, I will find it. The floor is actually fairly clean. It's down there somewhere. So I'm going to continue to remove this. I can always order another one. I might even have another one. So this should just come right off, see? And there we have a nice little tool that will help us get the edge thickness consistent so we don't see any warping effect. I know this is a warp ship, but we don't want that kind of warp. Okay, so this is going to make life a lot easier. Now you see how this is? And rather than tape it down and glue it, and I can just do this and glue. Slide it and glue. Slide it and glue, and it will maintain that all the way around. Okay, so now we have the top all the way down, and it pretty much matches the edge after all, but not overall. And there are some spots where it definitely sits higher, and you say to yourself, this just can't be right. And it isn't. This is called warpage in the top of the saucer, but you see? It's the same. Pretty much all the way. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to putty and sand the edges and get this just right. Okay, there's first pass. Of course I have to sand it down, but you can see how consistent the edge is now. It's level and not Mississippi River. So we're going to keep this up till we got a straight edge. We're a little not so straight through here, but it's not really bad. And you're not going to be, your eye will not be drawn to it very much, especially after the grid lines are on with pencil and the decals and everything else. But what really tells us that this thing is warped is the edge. So if the edge is pristine and sharp, it's going to sell the rest of it. So. Okay, so we've got the top on. It's all sealed. The differences you're seeing are actually the primer that's not dry yet. I just did some match-up primer just so I can see if I have any problems left. I got to still sand this over here and lightly, and then we'll be going in with the airbrush and painting it the real colors. That will be next. I got some gaps to fill under here in the morning, but it's pretty much all there. So Giselle is doing her first sort of bald cap, and if we were actually making a bald cap we wouldn't be doing it this way, but this is just fine for doing our wig, so that the hair will, the yak hair and crepe hair mix will be attached to using barge cement and thinner. Okay, so now I've got the red Bondo spot putty or glazing putty And what this allows you to do that you can't do with the blue stuff is the Evercoat is take a tool like this and card it and get the edge really crisp. I mean, we had some sort of valleys and things going on now, but when you stand back and look at it, you see it's just straight. It's just all nice. Now I'll just easily sand this tomorrow because the red putty sand's really nice, and I got some warped areas here and there, but it's pretty smooth and nice now. Gap this in so we don't have the light leaks anymore underneath it. And then very carefully, after I put the mask on, I'm going to sand everything down. I'm going to paint it the actual hull color. Wow, isn't that going to be something? Because these already are painted. I'll touch these up as well. And then we're going to paint this, and we're going to be looking at decals pretty quick. And over here, Giselle's got a whole bunch of latex on this, and that will dry, and we'll be able to start our wig tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to.
Woo!
Yeah. And here we are looking out the window of SNG. The sun has just come out, and the rain had just stopped. It was really strong this morning. And it was a very exciting ride to work. I like excitement. I like adventure. Who doesn't? But hey, last we left off, and we're not losing these again today. Yeah, we're ready to sand this for a final preen on the saucer section, and it looks like we're going to start prepping this for paint, although I do need to attach this to this and sand all this stuff. So Giselle, what are you doing today?
Making a Klingon wig.
Wow.
For you.
Thank you. I'm a very blessed man. Here's all our yak hair, and I like just this hair the way it is, although when you get up here a bit of the way, I might have you blend in some gray, the temples and stuff, but it's got some gray in it. Now what she's doing is she's using barge cement over here, and this is great stuff. It's basically a neoprene cement used for doing shoe work, but it's used often to glue foam together and do wigs and all kinds of stuff and makeup effects. Barge cement. This is the thinner. I got a little thinner here. You can use that to press down with. And over here I've done a mixture of the thinner and the barge so that it's fairly thin and not all thick and gooey. And she's laying on layers. Now she'll lay another layer on here, and then another one here and here, all the way up to my appliance. We go past the Enterprise. We're very Star Trek around here. You can see there's the appliance on my life mask. And so she's going to run the hair up about this far, and of course just up to that, within a quarter inch or so of my prosthetic. So that way I put this on first, we'll put the prosthetic on overlapped onto this, and then we'll overlay hair from here to there. So that's how that works. We'll come back, take a look at this in a little while. So Giselle's making some great progress here on our wig. Really nice.
Thank you.
It's sticking down good, huh?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, now I have it on me.
It is kind of messy.
Yeah, you got to get some right in there. Yeah, you could put like one big long piece when you're done and just kind of fill in there. Oh. Cool. So So, that's your first wig you ever made, and I gotta say, that is really a good wig.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really, really nice. Now, of course, for you sports fans out there, you can see how when this is on my head, this will be blended into this, and then we're gonna overlay, run hair through the hackle, wherever it went, and then put prosthetic glue over this and stick the hair straight in, so it's like it's growing out, and then it dries, we lay it back, and it blends all this, makes it look all fine and blended in. This wig is on there really good. You can see how well it attaches itself, the barge, and it's just nice and long. And it's just gonna be a perfect Klingon wig. You did a great job.
Can't wait to see it on.
There's all the components to do this makeup. Thankfully, their ears and their eyes are just human. There's the teeth down there that Giselle did, and of course the prosthetic appliance that I did, and the wig that she did. So, hey, we make a good team. But you can see how I'm gonna look like a Klingon now.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really cool. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you for teaching me.
And over here, I've got the actual hull color on here, and it is much, much lighter than this gray stuff here, as you can see. That's the 2 parts white to 1 of light ghost gray, and I got a window mask stuck on here. It just figures. Anyway, and Rosie wants to go home. Rosie? Rosie? Do you want to go home? Where's Uncle Ted? Where's Mary? Yeah, it's time to go home. It's 6 o'clock, time to clean up. It's a great day, got lots done. This is looking really cool now that it's got the actual color on it. The edges are all blended and everything, and we'll do more tomorrow. Well, it seems we have a bit of an emergency here at SNG, and you know Paul Forrest, the man who looks like Mr. Spock, Spock Vegas, Vegas Spock, Spock Vegas, went to New Orleans, and somehow his ears did not arrive with him. So he called me up and said, "Steve, please, I need you to send him next day air to New Orleans." And it's like, that's a pretty tall deal, especially in this weather, because it is so wet outside from all the tons of rain that I know you saw we had in the news, that things aren't drying and airbrushes are clogging. But I did manage to get at least 2 pairs of ears for him, and we're going to take those and send them up. But they're just not drying out really, and I mean they're going to be fine, but I'm going to put them in the oven here and dry them out a bit more, and get these off to next day air, because we're always happy to help Paul. His real professionally made custom fitted ears for him with Nimoy's sculpt will be available in a couple of weeks, but we just weren't ready yet. So more of the original Nimoy ears on his way. Oh, I am cutting it close for a next day delivery. But here they are, Paul, and I'm going to take them right now out to my shuttlecraft and take them to the nearest Starfleet shipping center. Well, been back at the Enterprise all day, blending under here, blending these in, and I see right there, before this goes off, there's a little crack right there that I missed. The gloves are off, of course, so I have to get it on my hands. And that's Evercoat. And we're locking these the cells in with the Evercoat. If they should ever for any reason have to be taken off, I still will be able to, but this holds a pretty good seal. You see this does not rock anymore. That's down really good. We're about to paint this, attach this permanently in the deflector. These are blended off really well now. I mean, these do not move. They're solid as a rock into the whole structure, being that it's right into the spine inside the skeleton. So we're good there. Let's go up and see what Jen's doing. Jen's working on Paul's ears, which are spectacular. Oh yes, I really like the extra bit of point you put in there. And the originals, yeah, they were kind of like that. Here's a little bit more pointier, which no, they're the same. I like it. Very, very nice. Wow, these are incredible. So we're going to be doing the overflows on these next, and then making the molds. So these look fantastic. Thank you so much for doing such a great job. So what you doing here, Jen?
Doing the overflow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Look in there.
Oh, that's beautiful. Excellent job. That's just perfect. Terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for today. That's taking me way longer than I thought. As you can see, that's blended in really nice now. That's going to be just great. I've worked some more on the fantail here, which is better blended in than it was. You can see that the nacelle pylons are blended in very well, very clean and neat. Likewise, we just did this part here. Then of course we don't have the indentations anymore, where there. And this is all clean up under here. So we're just about there, and we're going to be ready to start painting this hull entirely tomorrow. Luckily, this is already painted and these are already painted, so I would have to do the pylons again and the hull there. I have that over there to protect this. So that is also painted the actual hull color. You can see how much lighter it is right there. Not much to do now. Another bit of sanding tomorrow and touching up the tiny little details, retouching up the primer, putting in the masks for the windows, and painting the actual hull color on this model. And these will be glued in as well, so they can't do any of this. They're sitting correctly, just fine, but I'm going to glue them in so they can't be bumped or anything in shipping, and this will all be like one big 1350 model. And then I'm going to start doing the grid lines, which are with pencil, and the rust band and decals and all that kind of stuff. I am going to start working on this tomorrow and flat sand this all down and add more of this trim to the outside and start finishing the base, which I've got big plans for with a lighted up chevron and the plaque on it. So Giselle, what are we doing now? We always got you doing something.
We are working on Planet of the Apes, so we did a casting. Working on it.
Yeah, and the casting is in...
Huh?
And the casting is in the material?
Oh, alginate.
Alginate,
Sorry.
there you go. And this is a prosthetic grade alginate, and we're just making, it's why it's great to have, thank you Rob Berman, a full head life mask of yourself with the ears, because you can cast any part of it you need to do any kind of makeup you want on yourself. So Giselle is doing this. This is almost set up, and we're going to back this up with plaster bandage gauze, and then we're going to pour Ultracal, yeah.
Ultracal 30.
Yeah. And we're
then we're gonna fill it in, and we're gonna put some burlap in it.
Right. And then eventually we're going to take that out of the mold and place it in a back plate, just the way we did with the Klingon makeup. And we're going to sculpt, or I'm going to get Giselle to do her first organic sculpture of Planet of the Apes makeup on my face. So, cool.
Thank you.
This is the beginning. So here Giselle has done now the plaster bandage gauze. And this would be done the same way, except there'd be some openings there to breathe if it was done on a live person. Next step, when that hardens, take it off, pour it up with Ultracal. Okay, so here's Giselle's life mask of me, and she's pouring in the Ultracal 30. And she's going to take just this little bit and really smooth it all around. Even a brush, if you got one, works really good. But this will be fine. And you're going to stick your fingers down in that nose there. Really make sure it's in there. There we go. And she's going to build up a layer inside there that's fairly hollow with that. And then we'll have our life mask. That's how that's done. We'll show that's being popped out. So now Giselle is putting in some pre-soaked burlap into this to give it reinforcement. And then we're going to let this set up, and we're going to open it up in just a little while. So now we're going to open this and see what Giselle has done. I just turn it upside down.
Upside down?
Or actually right side up, yeah. And then just start pulling at the edges here. And get that away from the stone. Push it back there. There it goes. All right. Now we're going to pull off the outer mother mold. And we just throw that away. And then we're going to just start tearing off the alginate. The whole thing will just lift right off. That's cool. And there you go.
Cool.
Some old dude who did makeup. We're going to do Planet of the Apes on. Very cool. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Very cool.
Yeah. And now we can sculpt the appliances for Planet of the Apes makeup. We're going to put this in a back plate. Hi, it's Saturday. We're back here, the last day of an SNG week. I'm normally not here on Saturdays, but lately I have been because of this. I am maniacal over finishing this, and I told you I was going to work straight through it and finish it, put everything to the side, and I wasn't kidding you. No. This is where we're at. Yeah, these are on permanently. Everything's on permanently. Everything's nice and cleaned up and ready to go. I do have to put the window mask on. I got some dust in the windows. And give it a light sand down. And we're going to take all that paint I bought there. That's $70 worth of freaking tester's paint. And we're going to go over this model and paint it the entire color it's supposed to be. Now the saucer section is painted. These are painted. These have to be repainted because I got them kind of splotched up and stuff after I attached them permanently. You can see they're blended in really nice, and they're really strong, and they're not going to break loose, and they're never, ever, ever in the history of man going to sag. So as long as someone doesn't back into them with their head like I did, you'll notice that they are not perfectly level. They're slightly off because you got to count for the taper. We've been through this before. Level is in the middle, and then the center line, which is about there. And we are absolutely correct because that line goes through there, which is also level here. So, okay, to this, depending on what part of this you sit on, it was level before. What the hell's going on there? There you go. Sorry, at the final level spot. Because it is a little uneven here if it's not perfectly sitting flat. And then again down here to this center line, we are also level. Let's see, there we go. On the edge there. There. That line here. So we are level all across the board. We got good height of the cells over the tops of here. So yes, now we're going to paint this. So I gotta put the window mask on, lightly sand everything, and paint this the actual color. I have been prepping this base, and of course this sheet of plastic is gonna go over it to about around this. There's gonna be a piece that goes over this, and we're gonna have an angled piece going here, which is going to have a plaque on it and a lighted chevron in an area for our cast who comes up here to sign this, whoever they will be, hopefully all of them, with the exceptions of the ones who are no longer with us, to sign this. And then this is ready to go to the museum. Okay, at long last, after months and months and months, this thing is smooth enough and primered enough and filled enough that I can do the real paint job. And again, if you look, this is the real color here. This is the primer. They're so close. It's like, really? But yes, I'm going to go ahead and take this obviously lighter color. This is exactly the correct color based on the actual pictures and data that we have on the model. 2 parts white, flat white acrylic, one bottle. 2 bottles of white to 1 bottle of light ghost gray acrylic. And that's what I found was the closest match. So we're going to airbrush this on starting now at long last. All the masks are on. You can see them there. That one's kind of like not in the hole all the way, but it's fine. It's going to be good. And we're going to be very careful. I've been turning on the lights to make sure that none of them have blown off. Believe it or not, these have latex on them so that no stuff can get on there. There's a little bit of gap here and there, but basically I have to be sure they're not blowing off, so I turn the lights on. So let's paint. Okay, so you'll notice there is some paint on it, and I did a couple of, I've been looking at the real ship. It is heavily weathered. And here you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, this thing really had some streaking and stuff on it, which I've always known. And I think you've all seen these pictures, but you can see the weathering, and it's, of course that's where they were repairing it. And there you can see, again, just the severity and the rust band and all that. So we're going to do all of that exactly the same. Not what they did at the Smithsonian, but what's actually on the real hull, because Doug sent me a picture that is incredible that shows it in black and white, but also in color. You can see before they restored it that there was some green streaks, some yellow streaks, and a lot of other stuff going on. So I just wanted to do some test streaking, and it was kind of splotchy. That's how they did it. And I did it all the way. I did it all. It's kind of got a green tint to it. There's some yellow too, which I'm going to do, or rust also. I did it around here and here, and up where some of the joins are. I need to go around and tidy up the main hall paint job on Monday, which won't be very hard, but it's all one color now. And all smooth underneath, as you can see. And it's going to be rubbed down with very, very fine grade sandpaper. It's going to put that little guy on there. It's going to be rubbed down with the fine grained sandpaper so the hull is pretty smooth. It's pretty good. It's a little rough there, but the minute I take some fine grade to it, it'll be nice and slippery, which is good for attaching the decals. And you can see, this is all joined now, really nice. We've got a really, really clean ship all the way around from those nasty pieces and parts that I got out of it. I did the best I could. This is all painted now. These windows are beautiful. I love the way you can see our people in there, and you can see them just about everywhere you look. Of course, the camera does not want to expose, but they are there, as you can see. There's some dust on the windows I have to clean off still, but and the base has been cleared off so that I can start working on that pretty soon. But on Monday, we're going to do the rest of the paint job and start putting in the grid lines with pencil and all that stuff. So that's what you're going to see next week. It's been a great week. Thank you so much, everyone, for your loving support. We'll love you back, and we'll see you next week.